Okay, all right.
Bring out the skeletons. Put my back against the wall.
Well,
I'm
I
ready.
do have some follow-up questions from last time,
Yeah.
but all right, folks, welcome back to BEG Wrestling. We are here and honored to be here with gold medalist Sarah Hildebrandt, folks.
Gold medalist.
How's that feel? Sarah, last time I was with you was right before the Olympics, and you were preparing.
Oh, my God.
And you went out there and achieved the highest goal. And I got to ask you, just what was the first feeling that you experienced after that happened?
Okay, it's a weird one. I think people would be surprised. So there was obviously this tremendous excitement and relief, but then there was like a sadness because it was over.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this has been my life's work for 20 years. And there was this simultaneous thing, I was watching the seconds tick down on the clock. I knew I was going to win. And I was like, oh my gosh, in 5 seconds, I'm going to be Olympic champion, which is amazing. But also, I could wrestle this match forever. This could go on forever. I'm having so much fun. I don't ever want this to end. And so it was such an extreme emotions. Obviously, excitement as soon as that buzzer hit. But there was a mixture of that kind of sadness in a way.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, because it's such a unique experience that you achieved, which is reaching the pinnacle of your profession. I mean, it's so rare, and I would imagine there is some type of almost a letdown after the fact. But talking about after the fact, last time we spoke, I asked you the question, what was the first thing you were going to do after winning that gold medal? You said you were going to go try all those pastries in Paris. Is that what happened?
I did it. Okay. Now, really, though, what ended up happening was directly after, you go to drug testing and ton of media, so many things. So award ceremony, I did not get out of that arena until about 2 a.m. And so everything's closed. Paris is a ghost town. So the only thing that was open was McDonald's. So I just start sprinting for this McDonald's that was going to close in 30 minutes. I'm starved. I don't think I'd eaten since noon that day because I was so nervous.
Wow.
So I had a McChicken and chicken nuggets, French fries, and they do have macarons at McDonald's in Paris, so I got some of those.
That's about the most American thing I've ever heard. Out in Paris, winning an Olympic gold medal, go to McDonald's. But yeah, did you get time to spend with your family in Paris after the fact?
Yeah, a little bit. It ended up whisking us away on a lot of media, which I don't think I was super prepared for, but which was really fun, an awesome experience. My family got to come along to a lot of the Today Show and stuff like that, but I wanted, I was so exhausted and you're getting whisked away. So I'm really been trying to connect with my family after the fact and all that. But just getting to share the moment with them and then having them in the stands was beyond my wildest dreams. Made the whole experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, what was that whole experience? Obviously, the second time you going through it, what would be a lesson that you say you would have learned from these past Olympics?
Yeah. No, it was such a different Olympics from Tokyo. Obviously, from people being allowed to be there.
Yeah.
So that changed the dynamic of things. I had my support system there. But you know what? In my first Olympics, I thought I was doing everything right because I was this machine. Yeah, I think I had talked. Yeah, this machine, and I think. We had talked about how I was trying to grow out of that and change that, and it was so cool because I really did finally figure out how to be myself authentically, get away from this machine, be this human, be this version of myself in the highest, most intense moment of my life. And I think that's why I ultimately won. And it was just magical. That was such a difference.
Well, I'll tell you why it was so cool for me and why I've been really looking forward to this interview is because you did talk through about how 4 years ago you said you felt robotic.
Yes,
and this year you had a new mentality. And then the fact that you just went out there and it came to fruition. I mean, how cool was that? I mean, the mindset, I was Clarissa Chun, I was kind of briefly talking about how your mindset had changed from 4 years ago. And she couldn't agree more with, it's loosey-goosey. And obviously you went out there and proved it. And, since then, what is your new life like?
It's different in the sense that, I'm on the road a lot. I have been on 31 flights since I got home from Paris. So I have been traveling the country. I've, out of the country as well. And doing a lot of media, doing a lot of celebrating, so many fun things. So very different from my regimented training lifestyle. But in terms of how I'm trying to live my life and how I'm embracing challenges, how I'm embracing wrestling, everything within that, very much the same. And, things might look different in application moving forward, but, ultimately that seed, that foundation of just being myself and embracing that and loving that is what I think is going to keep propelling me, keep being the goal, keep being my definition of success.
Yeah. I mean, is this something like, what's like your daily routine now? Are you going around just sharing your stories with schools? What are you doing now?
Yeah, a lot of sharing my story, which is just so funny to me. I'm like, I can't believe people want to hear about my story. Like, I'm just a goon. But a lot of that, if I can get in the mat room, I try to get in the mat room, wrestle. I love that. I just want to be in the mat as much as possible. And then just kind of, reflecting and coming down and giving myself a period of rest and recovery and break, embracing changes, embracing that things are different, even though I want to cling to how it was during the Olympics because it was fun and I was successful. So, like, allowing for that space so I can gear up and do whatever my next adventure is, or whatever's next. And that's an important part.
Yeah. Speaking about what's next, I know when we talked before, you were kind of up in the air before whether you're even going to participate in the Paris Olympics. You made the decision you were going to. So then you go win gold. My initial gut reaction is you're retiring, right? Or are you retiring?
Am I retiring? You know what? I wanted to leave it open to whatever bubbled up within me. And, for the first probably month and a half, 2 months, I felt no leaning, no inclination towards one or the other of retiring or continuing. And I was like, God, this is so frustrating. Like, I wish I just had like a slight leaning towards one of them so I could explore that. But I felt so neutral about it. And that was terrifying because for the last 20 years of my life, I had it scheduled out to a T, like what every month looks like, what every hour looks like. And so it was terrifying to like, oh my God, what is my next month going to be? Like if I'm not a wrestler or if I am. I would say about a month ago, after having time to reflect and having been far enough away from the event, I felt more inclined to continue. And I don't know if that's for 4 years. I don't know if that's for 4 months. Mm-hmm. I'm not committing to anything. But I feel enlivened by this. I feel called to it. And I feel like there's a space for me to advocate within that, which is important to me. And turning that away seems wrong. It seems premature. So until that's not the case, until I feel something else gives me that power and that pursuit, it would be forsaking a lot of things to turn away. So that's where I'm at now. If that changes, okay. I'm open and respectful of that.
Yeah, nothing official, but I mean, obviously, I would imagine you're mentally stronger than ever right now. What about physically after these Olympics?
Yeah, physically not as bad as I was expecting. There's a long list of injuries I have for sure. There's a long list that all Olympic athletes have. They have this demeanor that we're like the healthiest epitome of human being, but we're actually just all broken. We're very broken. So, yes, of course, there's lots of things I could get fixed up, and I'm going to give myself a down period, obviously, and recover in whatever ways I can. But a lot of major surgeries I can continue to push off and fix in other ways, through sports medicine and kind of less invasive procedures. So I'll keep doing that and, working really closely with my medical team to make sure I'm not doing any long-term damage to my body beyond what I've already done. So body's feeling okay. We'll keep, as I age, that's an ever-changing thing.
An ongoing battle. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it would be safe to assume that the bread-making hobby that we talked about before is still on hold, right?
No, because if I keep wrestling, I don't think I'll keep wrestling at 50 kilos. So
interesting.
I don't want to keep wrestling. Weight cutting has served its purpose in my life and in my career. Mm-hmm. And now I'm curious what the sport looks like to me when I'm just healthy and at a natural weight more so. And, that's not why I'm using the sport to be this like weight cutting, lean, crazy, you know, the sport offers so much more than that. And I feel like I'm cutting myself short by pouring so much energy into weight cutting. And
Yeah.
I want to find more within the sport beyond that. And, just eating less, just constantly working out. It's so draining that it's like, this is no life. And I don't want it to be that. So the bread making can be on. I'm gaining some weight. I'm eating some bread.
All right, maybe next time we'll have a bread making competition.
Let's go.
I mean, what about obviously with the growth of women's wrestling? Is coaching something we could expect to see in your future?
I'm not sure. Again, I would be respectful if that kind of came up within me. I do feel, like advocacy is very important to me, so I can see how coaching kind of loops into that. I'm more intrigued by the Olympic level, so I think that would be where you would find me. I'm more intrigued in a more small group, have a very close relationship with my athletes where we're discussing philosophies and greater life lessons than just teaching wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
That is intriguing to me for sure. So if something like that was a possibility, there's lots of bumps in that road and ways to kind of set things up like that, but that is intriguing to me. But who knows, man? Right now is that's kind of what led me to think maybe I still want to compete, because people are like, well, do you want to coach? And I'm like, well, I'd rather be an athlete. I'm like, oh, well, there's a sign there. So Why not just be the athlete for now? So we'll see. Who knows?
I mean, as long as you still got it, yeah. I have to tell you something. I have to admit something to you.
All right, what is it?
I owe you one because I won money off you. I
Oh,
bet you
let's
to win
go.
Olympic gold. Yes, I did.
way.
I think you were plus 1,800 too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Swear on my life. So
Thank
I owe you one
you.
there. Do you have your Olympic gold medal?
I do. I brought my medals because they're my favorite jewelry. Okay, here, we'll start with bronze. Bronze in Tokyo. Very beautiful. And then my sweet golden sunshine.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Do you allow other people to wear it?
Oh, yeah. You want to throw her on?
I can throw that on?
Oh, my gosh.
Get out of
yeah.
here. Oh, my goodness.
She's got some heft to her.
Thing is serious. Wow. I need to get a picture of this for my Facebook and
Oh, my
social
gosh.
media.
Absolutely.
Look at that, folks.
Look at that.
Gold medal.
Ah.
BEG Wrestling has a gold medal around their necks. Unbelievable. Sarah, what are you taking that around to schools, letting all the kids touch it?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. It's so funny because you would think kids would just be medal and crazy. They are so reserved. Some are terrified to touch it. They won't even hold it. I'm like, oh, do you want to wear the medal? Do you want to hold it? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy the awe that this inspires in kids, I feel like. And
It feels different. Yeah.
it's so crazy. It's very powerful. So it's funny, a lot of kids, I was worried they'd be rough with it or whatever, but they're so just, I think, taken back by it, which is crazy, but it's cool to kind of see.
Yeah, that's incredible. What are your plans on doing with that after you're done touring it? You gonna hang
Washing
it
it. Right now, it sits with my favorite books in the world. So does this one, which is a nice shelf to be on. I will say I put books in high regard. So if these have made it to the top bookshelf, I think that's probably where it stays. Almost every event, anywhere I travel, someone's like, "Well, bring the medals." So I'm like, it's got to be in grabbing distance at all times. So.
Yeah, you did mention earlier that you're an avid reader as well. What book are you reading right now?
Okay, I'm reading a book called The Overstory right now, and it's about trees and kind of the advocacy for trees and environment and stuff like that in a fictional story. It's amazing, and I would absolutely recommend it to everybody. It's one of those books that you're like, oh yeah, I should totally uproot my life and just go hug trees for the rest of my life.
What is it? The Overlook?
The Overstory.
The Overstory. Okay.
It's really good. I'm reading that. What else am I reading right now? I just finished
What's
a
book you
sci-fi
would
book.
recommend?
The Overstory for sure. I would recommend. What is it? Be Water, My Friend, by Bruce Lee's daughter, Sharon Lee, and That book absolutely changed my life. That book is 1,000,000% why I have these medals. It is a foundational piece of literature for me. It's a quick read. You could read it on an airplane like that.
Be Water, My Friend?
Be Water, My Friend, yes.
Okay.
It's the teachings of Bruce Lee, and it's applicable even if you're not in combat sports. It's applicable to anything you're doing. There's just incredible mindful lessons that and experiences that everyone should read about. It's
All right. You've inspired me. I'm going to read it. In fact,
Read
I'm
it,
going to
no.
read it and have it completed before the next time I see you because
we
I got a
can
big
book
time
talk.
challenge against you. Next time I see you, we're out here in Spooky Nook.
Spooky Nook.
I'm going to throw out the challenge to live stream me versus you rock climbing wall competition.
After you read that book, you're for sure going to beat me.
Well,
No.
that's why I said I gotta have to finish it. But yeah, that's
No, it's happening. I'm going to train. Now that I have a period of time, like the goal is here.
next
I'm gonna
time
be
you're here, you let me
Spidey
know.
Sarah next time I come back.
We'll live stream, and I was gonna ask that if I won, I got to wear your medal, but
You can wear both if I want.
now I have to think of something else.
Yeah. What else is on the table?
But Sarah, this has been incredible. Again, I'm very grateful for your time and the influence you're having on the youth of America out there. Any final thoughts you want to say?
Oh my goodness. Just thank you, honestly, to you, to everyone, like sharing my story, wanting to listen to my story, you know, watching women's sports, watching wrestling, and then just supporting Team USA. This is a dream of mine, and I just feel so supported and uplifted by truly all of America. Like, not an overstatement. It was insane being out in Paris and feeling that empowerment. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future with you.
I know, me too. Trust me.
You're not
me
quite
too.
done. But you do have to go to some schools right now, so
We got schools
we'll have
to
to
go
let you
to.
go. But Sarah, until next time, thank you again. Gold medalist. Congratulations for America, Sarah Hildebrandt, folks.
Thank you.
All right.